In this demo video, I will introduce you to Cloudpager Trust Policies, which can be used to target applications for use only on trusted devices. To get started, I will navigate to the Policies tab in Cloudpager. When I click to add a policy, you will see there are two options. One is for software asset management and delivery, which could be used for licensed policy enforcement, for enabling offline usage of applications, revoking application access on a certain date and time, and more. For this demonstration, though, I will demo our trust policies. So I will click Trust and click Continue. For my first trust policy, I would like to create a policy to restrict access to our Bloomberg terminal application for use on only privileged devices. I will set an appropriate name in the policy, a description, and then I will add allowed devices. Here we can see there is a devices view that you can use to select individual devices, but in this demo, I will instead leverage an Azure Entra ID group that contains a device. Before I proceed, I will show this privileged devices group that I'm using in the demo, and it contains just a single device for demonstration purposes, and that device is ms-neu-w11-0. Now let's put this trust policy to use. I already have some work pods created that are being used to deploy applications to different groups, but I will go ahead and create a new work pod for my contractors group. I'm going to go ahead and give the work pod a name. I will also set an appropriate description, and I will add several applications, including Bloomberg Terminal. Once added, I will now choose to manage policies for the Bloomberg Terminal application. I will add the trust policy that we just created. I will then add my temp contractors Entra ID group, which contains the employees who I wish to receive these applications. Before I publish this work pod, I'm going to navigate to my Windows 11 Azure Virtual Desktop and launch our client software Cloud Paging Player so that we can visualize what happens in the background as we publish this work pod that contains our applications and trust policy. To show you this is indeed the device that was contained in our Azure Entra ID group that I'm on, I will display the host name. You can see that this is the same device. Now I'm going to go ahead and publish this work pod. I will get prompted for comment, as you do when taking most admin actions in Cloudpager. This will be stored for audit tracking purposes. I will provide a change request number in the comments so I can later correlate this to my ITSM and change process. In my comment, I will also note that Bloomberg is restricted. When ready, I will click Publish. We will see over on the Windows 11 desktop that the applications begin to appear, including Bloomberg Terminal. Now, if I quickly switch over to another Azure Virtual Desktop where I'm logged in as the same user, we can see that I get the other applications in our work pod, but I do not get Bloomberg Terminal. And just to show you that this is a different device, if I bring up the host name, we can see that it is different. And this is why, even though I'm logged in as the same user, I do not receive Bloomberg Terminal on this desktop. Now, my contractor can happily use Bloomberg Terminal on the device that is permitted in the trust policy, but not on other devices. You may have devices, perhaps, say, on a trading room floor, or maybe unique to a specific region, and you want to ensure employees only access that application on the permitted privileged desktops. And this is where trust policies will be awesome. Another example where this could come in handy is if you have an application which requires a unique prerequisite, such as perhaps a legacy print configuration that's limited to only certain desktops. You can limit the application to only devices that have this unique prerequisite. Let's take a look at another example of using a trust policy. This time I will limit an application for use on a specific Windows operating system version. I will keep things simple and just use our 7-zip application for the demo since it's already in the work pod we just created. I will enter a policy name for this new trust policy. I will enter a description, and this time I will add an allowed operating system instead of a group of devices. I will choose Windows 11 23H2. When ready, I will just save the trust policy. Back on our demo Azure Virtual Desktops, I will quickly show that we have two desktops running. One is running Windows 10 22H2, and the other is running Windows 11 23H2. I will edit the existing work pod and this time add our new trust policy to the 7-zip application. So I will once again go to the application I want, which is 7-zip, select Manage Policies, and add the policy we just created. Once ready, I will publish and once again enter a comment. Now if we first go to our desktop running Windows 10 22H2, we should see that the 7-zip application is removed as this is no longer trusted. Now if we go to our desktop running Windows 11 23H2, we should see 7-zip is still there and it will function just fine. If I wish, I could create a policy that combines both the allowed devices and allowed operating systems features and have a policy that only allows specific desktops and only if they're running a certain version of the Windows operating system. With trust policies, you have the flexibility to target applications for use only on permitted devices, providing the capabilities of conditional access for your modern container orchestration with Cloudpager. We hope you enjoy this feature, and if you don't already use Cloudpager today and would like to learn more, please view our content on Numecent.com and contact us for your own personal demonstration.